Yes, you're watching the South Australian Sports Show. Time to talk about footy, and it is a monster night tonight here in Adelaide. Sold out as we welcome Bevo to the show. Bevo, last time we'll have you on the show, mate. Big promotion for you. Down to Berry, mate. 5RM, you're off, are you, mate, to Berry? Breakfast radio?
Yes, that's right, mate. Next Tuesday, I'm starting officially. So,
good on you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good station.
Classic Hits 5RM, give that a plug. So.
Yeah, give it a plug, mate. You reckon that wasn't hard work by everyone here to get you moved over there so you'd be off the show, mate? Well, let's get onto it. Crows, Geelong. It is a monster game, Adelaide Oval. Just an interesting stat. Geelong have played 26 finals in the last 10 years, boys. Wow, okay. 25 of them at the MCG. One at Skilled Stadium. So for the first time in 10 years, 26 finals. They're venturing out of Victoria to play a game here at Adelaide Oval. Wow. So that is in favour, of course, of the Crows. They played twice this year. Crows beat them here at Adelaide Oval in round 18. Round 11, Geelong got them at Skilled Stadium. The two-headed beast is going to arrive with one Joel Selwood and one Patrick Dangerfield.
Dangerwood, yeah.
We saw what happened last week against Sydney. I think everyone's jumped up and went, wow, this is going to be a battle.
Yeah, absolutely, Smithy. I think none of us really picked that one last week. Geelong were amazing against Sydney.
Yep. I gave Geelong no chance, I've got to be honest.
I think most pundits did. In fact, one person bet $100,000 on Sydney to win. It was the biggest bet that they have taken, single bet they've taken this year. And I lost a lot of money. Why would you bet 100,000 when all you're going to get out of the bet back is 38,000? The risk surely is too great.
No, it's not. Put it this way: you leave that $100,000 in the bank for a whole 12 months. You get back 2,800.
But it's still in the bank at 12 months.
Yeah, 2 months. Or you back the right team, and in a space of 2 hours, you get back $38,000.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
If you win. All right, let's get back to the footy. 15 days ago was the last time that the Crows played. That makes it 21 days on 22 for Rory Sloane, who was pivotal for them in their win here. Is he going to be a little rusty or is he going to be good to go?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question, Smithy. And I think Geelong will be certainly given a few jumper punches and bits and pieces towards the guts, I think, just to see how his appendix is going. So
how does that work for an appendix?
Won't be a problem. Won't be a problem. No.
Okay.
Won't do him any good.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but just to rough him up, no doubt. And but the way Sloane's been going this year, the way he's come back from injuries like his jaw earlier on in the year and stuff, I'm sure there won't be any problems there. He should be fine. But I'm expecting Geelong to come out pretty firing though, and I think Danger's going to be in for another big game.
All right. You know, who runs
with Danger?
Scotty Selwood. Who does Scotty Selwood run with? Does he run with Sloane or does he run with one of the Brad or Matt Crouch? Who would you have him run with?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that they'll have Blitzarves on Sloane. And then they'll have...
Who did an outstanding job last week.
Exactly. Kennedy. He'd be the best runner. He'd be the best runner in the competition.
Oh, without question. Yeah, well, he was an athlete before he became
on maybe one of the Matt Crouches or Brad Crouches. Yeah. So maybe a couple of tags. I might be wrong, but that's my tip.
All right.
But this is a dangerous thing, though, isn't it? Because how much do you give before it starts to affect what you're about? Because you're playing to win. You're not playing to stop. And it's just finding that balance, isn't it? So, you've got one Crouch. You've got Sloane. Do you have someone specifically for bets? Do you have some... You've got to...
All right, I'd imagine that Johnny Bewes will go to bets. That's what I think will happen in that. And that'll be a good matchup. That'll be a good Jed Bewes, that'll be a good matchup for them. So then you go the other way, though. We spoke to Mark Williams earlier in the week, asked him what he would do with Dangerfield and Selwood. He said he would tag them. Because they are the two that get them running. So Sloane is going to get tagged. We know history shows if Sloane doesn't get the numbers, Sloane doesn't play well, that usually makes them struggle. So I think you're right. I think Blitzarves could be the one to go to Sloane, but you know the Crouch brothers are going to accumulate, but you can't get out too much out of your structures. So you don't want to suddenly say your point's valid, okay, we need to tag 1, 2, 3, and that takes us away from what we normally do. So there's a fine line between identifying and still staying with what you've had success with this year.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. They're both so evenly matched, both sides. You know, you've got your stars, both teams on all lines. So, yeah, this one's going to be a real beauty.
It's going to be a beauty, an absolute beauty. And, you know, there's an old saying, you're only as good as your last game. What I love about this weekend is that all four teams have been enormous in their last game. Forget about Crows beating GWS, because GWS were great against West Coast.
That's right.
Forget about Geelong being thrashed by Richmond, because Geelong were great against Sydney.
Yes.
But Adelaide and Richmond were fantastic their last games as well. So it's a really
and look at the smile on his face with his flags.
I'm just loving it. But you know what? I a week ago, before GWS game and before Geelong's game, I gave those two sides very little chance of going all the way. But all of a sudden, isn't it funny how your mindset changes after you see a side play well?
No question. No question. And you know, there was a big question mark on Scott. Could he coach? Because their finals performances, he's gone from being a terrible coach to a genius overnight. So everything is just based on that win. If you win, the world is a good place. Just quickly then, on the last point on this one, then we will get to Richmond, because I know you're chafing at the bit to get to your Tigers. Does Dangerfield start at full forward?
No.
Or does he start in the midfield? Now, there's been this big thing that Scotty is just a genius starting Dangerfield at forward. He's played full forward all year. He just hasn't started there.
Yeah.
So you'd imagine he might start there, but then if things start to fall down the midfield, it'll be a lot quicker getting back into the engine room.
That's right, and then it'd be interesting to see who the Crows put on him if he does play forward. I could see him maybe playing deep and then maybe like a Hardigan going on.
I think he starts in the middle. I think he absolutely starts in the middle. No question about that whatsoever. He starts in the middle.
All right. Who's going to win it?
I'm going for Geelong, actually. I think the way they played against Sydney last week and McGovern out and Brodie Smith out really hurts the Crows.
I think this is going to be Adelaide's biggest test all year. I think it's going to be less than 10 points either way. You know what? I can't even pick it. And when I can't pick it, guess what? I think it's going to end up a draw. Who wins in overtime? I don't know. I think it's going to be a draw after overtime. Extra overtime? I don't know.
I think you have lost your marbles. That's what I think.
Let's hope for this state, for the SA Sports Show, for South Australia. Let's hope the Crows can do it.
All right, we want the Crows to do it. I think the Crows deserve favouritism. Full house, it'll be predominantly the Crows fans. I think that gives them a little bit of an edge.
It does.
I just think that they've been consistent all year and they deserve that number one tag to get through. Richmond in third spot, GWS in fourth spot, 4:45 at the MCG. Round 9 at Spotless was GWS by 3 points. Round 18 at the MCG was the Tigers by 19 points. Now, here's a stat that hasn't come out yet that'll surprise both of you.
Yes.
Who has the most experienced group going into the finals? It's GWS. There's only one player for Richmond that has gone this deep into the finals before. Josh Caddy is the only Richmond player to have gone this far. Of course, last year GWS played in a very similar game, didn't get the result they wanted. So they have the experience. It's an interesting one. Phil Davis. Does he get the job on Rewalt? Now, Richmond have changed their structure so that they're not so dependent on Rewalt kicking goals. Phil Davis to Rewalt?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what? I think Rewalt might be even still a bit too nimble for Davis. I think so. I think this is GWS's biggest dilemma.
Yeah.
Is they've got too many tools in that back six.
So you're thinking maybe like a Heath Shaw?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting scenario for Leon Cameron and GWS, because this is so untraditional, this forward six of Richmond, that their tallest player is Jack Rewalt at probably 6'2", and the rest are 5'10" and pacey. So you actually have to adjust to them. So the battle is being won by Richmond before the ball's been bounced. I think it's fantastic.
All right, let's talk about the ball being bounced. They're saying that Richmond need to run and bounce to win the game. That's how they go about their business. When they run and carry, they are unstoppable. GWS like to run and carry. They're calling it the run and bounce. They want to get the bounce and keep going.
Yes.
Who's got the better run and bounce or the run and carry, if you want to go with it?
I personally think GWS have got better raw talent.
Yeah.
I just think that Richmond can run and bounce through the corridor. I see GWS running going wide. You know, the MCG you can get lost. She's a big ground.
Yeah.
The big advantage Richmond have got is it's a home ground. There's going to be 95,000 Richmond fans and 500 from GWS, maybe. And that's including players' wives and stuff like that.
Let's talk about that for a minute then.
Yeah, well, it's a big difference.
Has to be an advantage, yeah.
So 94,500 people are barracking for Richmond.
Yes.
That's factor number one.
Yes.
Factor number two, the Dusty Martin factor.
Yes. Do you tag him?
You can do whatever you like. It's not going to make diddly squat difference because everything's been tried. And when they've been under the pump, he's been able to step up.
Yes.
He is the champion at the fend-off. We all know that.
And guess what?
Is there anyone?
He plays at Dangerfield right up forward and a hit as well.
So is there anyone that you can see in GWS that could limit Martin's influence in this?
Good question.
Look, I think at some stage, I think Green will try to run at Martin.
Yep.
And I think
Toby Green.
No, he won't be able to run with him.
run at him.
But he'll run at him.
Yep.
And I think that...
I think he'll come up second best.
I think that post that run-in, Green will say, I wish I didn't do that.
Yes.
That's what I think. I think everyone underestimates the raw strength of Dusty Martin, the ability of Dusty Martin. And I think he'll be recognised next week for a beautiful season. Look, I'm really excited about this game. I just wonder... I just wonder about GWS on the big stage. Look, MCG, they've played 10 games, they've won 1. They've won 1.
Their record's not great.
It's not there. And guess the biggest crowd they've played in front of, 50,000.
Who's under more pressure? Who's under more pressure, Richmond or GWS?
Richmond, definitely.
Yeah. Because?
Well, because there's going to be 95,000 they haven't seen, and for the first time in 7 years, they've got a chance to play in a grand final.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot riding on it. Now, players, as you know, Smythe, good players, good sides, good clubs, they don't let those opportunities go. GWS, you've got raw talent. It's coming quickly for them. I'm not sure when the going gets tough that it means as much to them. Is that fair?
Oh, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair call. I think the other thing is that GWS have not played in front of 94,000 roaring fans. They played in front of 14,000 last week. So I think
they're in front of 50
there is
against
Sydney last year.
Last year.
But it's not the same. It's not the same. We know that. The other one then, Delidio turns up.
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to get booed, or are they going to say...
They'll boo him, but...
Should he? Should they boo him? Should Adelaide boo Dangerfield?
Look, I wish they didn't.
So do I. I think you're a fool if you do.
I've got no problem with you booing a player you don't like. I think the fact that you boo a player, it's like cheering a player, I don't like you, boo. But don't boo him just because he left the club. Boo him because he's a nasty player, or he's you know what I mean? Just because he leaves your club. He's a Toby Green. Yeah. Perfect example. I don't like him. I'm going to boo for him. I didn't like Adam Goods. I booed against him. Don't tell me I'm racist.
You didn't like Adam Goods?
No, I've never liked him.
Mickey O'Loughlin? You like Mickey O'Loughlin?
I like Mickey O'Loughlin.
Okay.
He's a beautiful... Well, he's a talented player.
Yes, okay.
As was Adam Goods. But when he pointed out that 15-year-old, he lost me.
Right.
That's it. He lost me forever.
There's a few people...
All right, quickly then. Is it going to be GWS or going to be Richmond?
No, I think Richmond.
Yeah.
Richmond? All happy with Richmond?
Yes.
We're all in agreement on Richmond. Just quickly, Ken Hinkley, of course, it's been a long weekend into this week.
What a debacle.
Brilliantly done by Ken Hinkley to stay quiet over the weekend.
Yes.
Let it all fester, get an extra year on top of the 2 years that were originally. I'm saying he is the master of smoke and mirrors.
That tactic kept him at the 36s for about a decade.
At least that long, really. I mean, I think Ken, he didn't need to come out. Everyone said, he should have come out. I said, why? Everyone was speculating. Ken didn't need to come out and say anything. So I think well done by him.
Yeah.
I think the relationship between him and Koshy looks like it's settled. It's all solidified.
Yes.
So it just seems like a win-win. I mean, it's all come out well.
And I'm not just saying this just because I'm a Port supporter. I think he's fantastic. He's always honest.
Yes.
Tells it how it is. He said yesterday on radio, or during the week on radio, that him and Koshy get along really well. He says the odd thing that stresses him out a bit, but no one's perfect. So I think they've got a good relationship. And you can see Hinkley's doing some really good things there. 2012, Port was a basket case. 2013, he's got them in the finals. 2014, they play finals. Okay, they had a bad year, 2015 and 16.
They were basket cases.
But I reckon he's taken the club in a good direction and some good young players there. So I'm happy with that.
All right, if you're down at Berry, you'll see Bevo with the basket, because he's a basket case down at Berry. What's he got there, mate?
He brought in his notes.
What's it say?
1 cup of sugar, a cup of flour. That's good, mate.
Oh, Bevo, we have enjoyed your time with us. All the best in Berry, mate. Hope the breakfast radio goes fantastic with you. Stay with us. Still a little bit more to come on the show.